Yeah, what's up, everyone? It's your boy, Matt Diazable, coming at you with a new album review. Hope you're doing well and everything. Thanks for stopping on by. Today, I am checking out the band Yambag with their album called Mindfuck Ultra. Yeah, it's a very interesting name for an album. This band comes out from Cleveland, Ohio. They are a punk band that is they're punk. They're very, very punk, as I would want to say. Uh, very all over the place, very DIY, very rough production, just crazy punk is a is the best way I can describe it. So let's get into this review. This is very punk music that is just extremely muffled. It's very fast, very abrasive. It's just messy as fuck, and it doesn't really have that much of like a rhythm to it or anything. The blast beats are really intense, and the bass has some groove, but it's just it is in your face intense and just it's crazy. Here's a little clip of Ancient Relics. It's a lot to take in at once. This song is a little bit less messy and more structured compared to the opening song. The production is still a hot mess and everything. The drums and riffs are just all over the place. There is some groove to the song, like in the back end of it. These first three songs all kind of like blend together and just really sound similar. Fast, abrasive, messy style punk and everything. I will say at times on this track, the drum fills are pretty cool and everything, but it's just really hard to get into it. And I like a lot of like extreme and wild music, but this is really hard to get into. It's a bit more cohesive in terms of like song structure. The drums are tighter and less reckless, I feel. The bass helps really to complement the drums and everything. They work really well. The vocals sound pretty good, so this is like the first song where it feels like a pretty decent song. So I want to play a clip of Huff and Puff for you. It kind of reminds me of my friend's band ADHD, but just not as like tight. Everything here is just super fast and just really messy. I can't. That's like the best way I can describe this song. There's just so much going on. How playing here is really interesting, including like how the blast beats from the drums kind of have some cool groove to it and all the chaos that's going on. I would say it's the most well-balanced song on the album and everything. So I'm gonna play a clip of Mind Ultra for you. Not bad, right? I really like how the vocals sound on this particular track. It's just the rest of the band is so intense and fast. I'm actually very impressed with how fast and intense they can play. It's not an easy feat, and these guys are doing it pretty well, surprisingly. Again, fast, wild, and messy, not sounding anything different from like the previous songs. It's really hard to describe a lot of these songs because they're so short and just so much is going on that you can only like get like a few snippets here and there. The bass sounds really funky and cool on this song. The drums really crazy, and the guitars got a wild side to them and everything. But again, it's just a hot mess. It's just bad. I would say the structure of a lot of the songs seem very intense, fast, and reckless and wild at the beginning. The middle section's got some nice groove to it, and that's where they sound the best, and then they bring it back to that messiness at the end of the song and everything. And I feel like this is a good example with this particular song. It's like bad, good, bad. Ugh. This is by far the most different song on this album because it's like a weird psychedelic 70s song and everything. It really helps refresh your mind after listening to like all those other intense, punky, distortedly like messy songs, and you get to this and it just feels so zen and refreshing to listen to. It's and it's also very cohesive and everything. This album is living up to its name because it is definitely a mind F for sure, because this is some of the most crazy, abrasive, messy music I've listened to, and I like crazy, messy music because I love death metal, I love punk, I love all types of these crazy bands and everything. But this album was really, really inconsistent, disjointed, and not very cohesive. It's only 10 minutes long, but it felt like it was like 20, 30 minutes long. It just felt like it was a pain to get through. And I legitimately got a headache listening to this album. And it could because it's like there's a crazy amount of blast beats that just never end. And the drums are just, besides the blast beats that are kind of in a groove, the rest of the drums and the fills are just so messy. The riffs are just incoherent and just sound really, really bad and just very sloppily played. But I feel bad saying that because I can't play any instruments. But this, I don't know if it's I don't think it's done on purpose, but it's purpose. It's really rough with how they're just playing on this album and everything. The vocals are just like not even enjoyable. They're just screeching screams and everything that just aren't pleasant. I think the only thing I enjoyed on this album was potentially the bass because it had some groove to it throughout the album, but it was just so chaotic and so much going on that I barely heard the bass at times. Like there's a few moments where I could hear it, but once everything's all on top of each other, it was just like too much is going on. I can't handle this. And yeah, like this is crazy of an album. And the last song, even though it was just like a short, it's one of their longest songs, and it's more of like a trippy psychedelic song, and it just completely is different from the rest of this album. It was so refreshing to listen to because it wasn't intense punk, and it just made that it elevated its status amongst the album because it was just such a breath of fresh air on this album. And I know punk is supposed to be wild. We're putting out a lot of crazy music and stuff these days, but this was a rough one to get through for sure. And for that, I would say this is a decent 5.5 out of 10. One of the roughest albums I've had to listen to this year. Subscribe, comment, tell me what you think about Yambag. I would love to check them out again. I think they would be really good in the live setting. This type of music, it'd be pretty good to see live, but on record, whew, it's rough. And with that being said, I'll see you guys later and see you in the pit.